Joining me right now is Elite Fight Club head coach and former FMD lightweight champion, Tommy Hayden. What's going on? Welcome to Kumite Radio.
Hey, John. How's it going, man? I appreciate it. It's good morning. It's definitely early right now.
Yeah, it is early. Now, of course, recently you were in the corner of Dream Man at One Championship Iron Will in Bangkok. Basically you're home away from home, right?
Yep. Yeah.
In that fight, he landed a suplex. You know, there's a lot of controversy around that because he won the fight that night, but then the next day they changed the result. My first question for you is, when you were at cage side, what were you thinking when all of this was going down? Were you like, did you have any doubt in your mind that this would be overturned?
No, I didn't actually. So when I was cage side, I was just thinking to myself, wow, that was a beautiful soup. That was executed perfectly. Great job. And it wasn't a textbook belly to back suplex, like the original, like the most beautiful, what you get 5 points for in a Greco-Roman or freestyle match. But it was a beautiful side soup. And I had no inkling that would be overturned. I just thought, like, excellent. That was a great way to cap off, a perfect victory. Not what happened.
Exactly. Dream Man, he has a big following in Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
Very popular guy.
Yes.
When you guys heard the news the next day, first of all, how did you find out that the fight was overturned?
So I found out the night after. We enjoyed some beverages and we were all feeling pretty good and just celebrating. So the next day when I found out was, like, I was recovering and I look at my phone. I've got all these messages from tons of different people sending me different, like, articles, and I'm looking at this stuff like, what? No, come on. And I instantly called up Dream Man's manager, Panawat, and so I called up Dream Man's manager and my partner, Panawat Maki Ja, and he's like, bro, I don't know what to do. I don't know what we're gonna, like, I don't know how to go about handling this. And he told me that Dream Man had driven all the way home to give his son the medal that he won in One Championship when he found out about this. So, like, he was devastated. Ja was devastated. I'm devastated. So, I had to try and think of what I could do. And it was rough on the whole team. Kind of like just a bad family affair, essentially. So I wrote an article that was published by Fox, and it actually questioned the decision. Like, why was the suplex illegal? Why was something that I've done as an amateur wrestler in high school illegal in a professional sport that involves wrestling, So I questioned that, and I ended up, so my article ended up being grossly edited to where it turned my questions into accusations, which I don't want to do that. I never intended to call in to question the integrity of the organization. I did take a couple of personal digs, which that's not exactly right. As a journalist, I shouldn't do that. But as a coach trying to protect my fighter, I did do that. And that was kind of, a misguided thought and misguided process on my end. And yeah, that was no good. But so after that article gained some popularity, I ended up I personally requested that Fox take it down. because the way that it was edited, I really didn't agree with, and I wanted to do some time to investigate and then, you know, possibly follow up with something, which is actually something I sent off today, because I did do an investigation and I found out that the man, now I gotta look at names real quick. The Peng Wu Sin fight, I think, or Peng Sin Win. I'm sorry, I forget his
Soda
name.
Fat. The fight with Soda Fat.
Yeah, the fight with Soda Fat. That was a textbook belly to back suplex, and beautiful, I might add. But that is actually when they amended the rules to say that, hey, a suplex resulting in the spike to the back of somebody's head or neck will be ruled illegal. So that's when the rule actually changed. So I feel that it's important that I point that out, which my next article does. But still, you know, when I reviewed the video and what I saw with Dream Man was I saw the hand, the elbow, the shoulder touch before the head or the back of the neck or anything touch for Robin Catalan. But the momentum of the throw, the force of the throw, obviously, you know, it was to the back of the head and neck, which again that's a good suplex. You know, that's the way it's supposed to happen. And I still disagree with the ruling, but now I understand the why. And I think it's important that we all try to understand the why, as opposed to, like, outrage is easy. Outrage is very simple, but understanding the reason behind it is something that is more important, because the reason is there to protect fighters. And I love that. I mean, bro, as somebody who has cut weight for so many damn years right now and still has to cut weight when I compete, I love that ONE FC is like, you know what, we'll go ahead and allow, you know, 5 kilo allowance to each weight class as long as you can pass hydration and water testing. Don't be a jerk and dehydrate yourself. Just, you know, lose weight the correct way by diet, like through proper diet and exercise, and we'll give you X amount of kilos for an allowance. I think that that's great. I love the new weigh-in procedures for ONE. I think that, you know, the rules that they implement are there to protect the fighters, which I agree with. I do agree with that.
The rule change. Most people did not know that this suplex rule was in effect at all. It only came up after this decision was made, after Dream Man's, you know, win was changed to a disqualification, that people were outraged. You know, there's both sides of the outrage. There's the outrage of, you know, the people that didn't know the rule changed, you know, attacking the promotion, saying like, how come you guys didn't make this apparent to everybody or to the media? And then the other side of the outrage is, how come the referees, the officials, cage side, did not make the ruling instantly if they knew this rule set was in effect?
Yeah, I can't really answer to that. You know, I also did not know the rule was in effect, which again is the reason I wrote the first article, was why are suplexes illegal? That was my question in it. And I didn't know the rule was in effect. So I'm one of the many people. As far as the referees go, I don't know. I have not talked to Olivier Coste, but I can tell you, directly after the fight, Olivier came up to me and he said, that could have been a spike. And I was like, Olivier, no, it's a suplex. That's not a spike. Because again, I'm a wrestler. I've had them done to me. I've done them to people in competition. I know what it feels like on both ends. I know what it feels like to have it happen. and I know what it feels like to do it. And honestly, to have it happen hurts a lot less than to do it yourself when it's a belly to back, perfect 5-point throw suplex, which Dream Man's was not. But so I did not think that it was a spike personally, but you know, Olivier came up to me and said, I think that could be a spike. But again, you know, they didn't rule it out then and there, which I think would have saved quite a lot of the backlash had they ruled it out then and there. As far as to making it apparent to the masses, you know, when the soccer kicks were taken away, when that rule was put into effect, they made sure to let everyone know. So yeah, that I don't know who is in charge of that, but you know, whoever was in charge of press releases and the statements that are made as to the effect of rule changes, you know, maybe they could do a maybe they should have released something.
For
I don't
sure.
know. I don't know what to say about that, to be honest with you.
For sure. Yes, it should have been apparent, you know, like for everybody, like you said, with the soccer kicks, when that rule came into effect, everybody knew that was happening. This suplex thing is full of controversy. Another reason why is because after the Soda Fat fight, in which Soda Fat was injured from that slam, and hopefully Soda Fat is doing well now. Christian Lee also attempted or executed a similar slam on Boku, and that was ruled a TKO finish. Now, people will look back at that fight and say, hey, how come this is illegal, but this one was legal? Where do you sit on that?
Let me give you the exact breakdown. And this is coming from an expert in wrestling, right? I've done it for years. Like, I've wrestled at high levels. I will give you my expert opinion on this. Well, I don't think people, you know, I don't think many people in the referee official team, stuff like that. In fact, I don't think most referees are experts in any of the sports that are MMA. Like, I think they're good at judging and stopping MMA fights when they need to be stopped. But I don't believe that they're expert Muay Thai fighters, boxers, wrestlers, jiu-jitsu artists. No, I don't believe that. And I don't believe that any officials are in any organization. So me speaking as a wrestler, I can tell you why the Christian Lee one, it wasn't even really a suplex. They called it a suplex, but it wasn't a suplex. And this is also why, and again, the first article that I wrote, I did not compare Christian Lee's suplex. That was added in after the fact. Christian Lee's slam, because it wasn't a suplex. His knee hit the ground before the slam finished. And on top of that, the guy landed flat on his back. The guy did not land across his shoulders or on the back of his head or neck. So no, Christian Lee's suplex was a slam. It was a nice slam. It used a good amount of momentum, but it was not a suplex. So that, like, where again, whoever the person is that posts things to their Facebook needs to be schooled on techniques, because you can't just call a slam a suplex when it's not, because it wasn't. So to people who point out Christian Lee thing, you guys are wrong. All of you. Anybody who calls it a suplex is wrong. Christian Lee did not suplex people. I promise you this. It would have been a 3-point throw in Greco-Roman or freestyle. He would have gotten a 3-point takedown. Because, I mean, really, his knee hit the mat before the throw happened. It's like before it even finished. So, no, it wasn't. That's my studying of the video, of all all three, I studied the videos multiple times, and I really looked at them to see the differences. And while the soda fat belly to back, that was gorgeous. That was a 5-point throw. Dream Man's would have been 4 because it was a side suplex, and because the guy's legs didn't go over Dream Man's head. The Christian Lee, that was a 3-point throw. That was a good slam. That's it. That's all that was.
Yeah, it's good to hear, you break it down to us, the difference between each slam or suplex. And there is a lot of, I guess, miscategorizing when people post things on social media. And I guess that's natural because humans make mistakes. But I think when you go into like arguments and, and debates about certain things, if you're not an expert, you shouldn't probably get into, a war of words with somebody over this.
Correct. Yeah, and I agree with that as well. I don't argue theology because I'm definitely not an expert in that. I keep my mouth shut when people who, want to talk about it, I'm like, got nothing for you. So if you don't have anything, like if you're not an expert, then yeah, just keep your mouth shut.
All right, now what I want to know is like, how has this affected Dream Man though? Because he's the one that was in the cage, that his record is affected. What's his kind of opinion on all this?
Okay, so Dream Man, initially heartbroken, and I know he's not happy. Like, he's definitely not happy about this and about how everything was handled. But he just became famous. Like everything went viral. Like his slam got shared on the on the UFC's Facebook page. His slam got shared on McGregor's Facebook page. His slam has been shared everywhere by everyone. And, so this, I think, is a net positive, not only for Dream Man, but it's also a net positive for One. And a big reason is because, like outside of Asian MMA, when you talk about One, you hear the name Ben Askren, and that's because he's made the most noise, like calling out Dana White and stuff like that. But to see a Thai who, it's Muay Thai is king here in Thailand. So to see a Thai who's a wrestler and the best wrestler pound for pound in Thailand come out and be so dominant, and it shows that One has a much deeper talent pool than maybe people outside expect. And it shows that MMA is taking off and it's growing up here at a very rapid pace. So I think, even though there was outrage, sorry, even though there was outrage, One FC, like, I think they get a net positive gain, as well as Dream Man. I mean, by far, in a way, he gets a very positive gain, but I think One FC does as well, because that highlight reel, slam essentially is video proof and evidence that there is some real talent here in Asia. And I mean, they're putting on great fights, they're putting on exciting fights, so why not?
For sure. Of course, you and me, we know best because we're in it. We cover it. We live it, right? MMA in Asia. Asian MMA is always going to be growing, especially countries like Thailand. Now, before I let you go, I want to talk about what you have, planned for the future. I know you got a couple of names in your head I don't want to, match up with. So can you tell me something?
Well, so yeah, absolutely. I want to fight Jason Ponet again, obviously. I've been asking for that fight. I keep bothering John Nutt over at Full Metal for it. So I want that fight. And if any other organizations want that fight, by all means, pick it up. Let's put it on. I'm down to fight. Another fight that I would like is against George Hickman, the Tiger Muay Thai head coach. Just because, you know, Tiger Muay Thai has a big name, and he and I are around the same weight. And I think that would just be, he's a wrestler, I'm a wrestler. I think it'd be a hell of a fight. So again, if any organizations out there want to pay the cash for it, that will be a fun fight. That will be a show that you can have, that you can, you know, point to a rivalry in Thailand, if you will. So come on, let's get that money up. Let's get going.
For sure.
But,
You know, like one of these promotions got to pony up and put up the cash, right?
Yep. But for me, outside of that, I've had a couple fight offers in China with like Kunlun and stuff like that, and I intend to take those. I'm just coming off of an injury, so you know how it is getting back into shape. It's rough, but yeah, I'm a little bit fat right now because all I was doing was, you know, exercising, building power, and now I've got to get the cardio back, which is far more difficult as I get older and older.
Definitely. Well, Tommy, it was good talking with you, and hopefully I'll get you back on before your next fight.
All right, man. Well, take it easy, John, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
For sure. Thank you.
All right. Mm-hmm.